All right, here's one that people have been asking for, and I don't do it very often. It was kind of my rebuttal. Years ago, when I first started here, I was a lot more negative of a reader than I am now, maybe. I come around a long ways, but I was in the middle of reading a poem that was actually about a migraine, but you never would guess it because there's like hidden messages, you know, and somebody stood up and starts yelling at me in the middle of me reading my poems like, man, you're going to give yourself an ulcer one of those days. Why don't you let it go already? And I'm like, dude, it's about a headache, you know. But he didn't get it. And so I came back the next day, and this is what I wrote for him, and then he wasn't here, of course.
Yeah.
I am so sorry! I am so sorry, people, if I somehow offended you. Nobody can please everybody, and everybody pisses somebody off sometimes.
Yeah.
You want to know why I write the way I do? Well, let me tell you what this piece of paper has done for me. What it means to me. How this pen 100 times has saved my life. Because let's face it, we're not all dealt the same hand. And we all choose to play our cards a little differently. It's true. I could choose to drink myself half to death, like so many of those that I know, or slap my veins and poke them with 100 holes, or even leap into that river that I stare into every few days. I could have given up on the degree, accepted defeat when it seemed like I couldn't possibly go any further. I could have allowed my child to be raised by yet another absent-minded parent. So please, oh, don't you dare, don't you fucking dare tell me how I should be feeling or how I should be expressing those emotions. This pen has saved my life. My sanity, my spirit, my soul, all this bullshit you fine folks allowed yourself to suffer through. With me. Are your ears bleeding yet? This pen is. Because it's what I do. I feel. I hurt. I bleed onto these pages. I bleed, and somehow, through all of the chaos, through all of my trials, through all my rainy days, my tribulations, I somehow survive. This pen has saved my life. With this pen, I can exonerate, assassinate, and immortalize my subject. This pen is my sword. This pen is my life. It's my gun, my needle, my drink, my pill, my suicide, my redemption, my resurrection, my damnation, my skydive, my parachute, my raft, my sail, my daydream, my nightmare, my God, my devil, my sanity, my lunacy, my strength, my tears, my blood. This pen saved my life. This pen has robbed me from my slumber, wiped the tears from my eyes. This pen has saved my life. Oh, now I know that I'm not the only one here who's had a rainy day. I'm not the only one here who's had the worst week, a painful year, a fucked up life. Haven't you ever had a suck-ass year? Listen, we all have these moments when we wonder how in the world we could possibly make it through one more jacked up day. I'm not alone in that. And standing here like this, I'm not alone. So, thank you. I'll tell you what, you go ahead and deal with your heartache, your headache, your resentments, your fury, any old way you want. Blame your headaches and your ulcers on the physical manifestation of a stressful emotion. Because you know what? I will be okay. I can go on with my rainy days, laugh at your jokes, shout at your poetry. I can live. All because I've allowed this pen to save my life. All because I bleed onto these pages and then I could just crumple it up and I could just throw it away. This pen saved my life. I hope it can save yours too. Yeah. really feel like there's a knot.
I actually think that was the last time I saw you read.
That's the last one you saw me read a long time ago?
When Peter yelled at you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You never wanted to come back after that?
No, I do.
Oh. I don't know what to do with this knot lurking in my aortic arch. It's full of energy and it's waiting to race throughout my entire body, held back by heartstrings. I couldn't possibly give any more of my negative account. My wounds may not be bleeding anymore, but the gangrene has set in, sending my body into fever and chills, a toxic pool of flesh-eating biotics, the kind that consume from the inside out. My youth, my vibrance, my life slowly being gnawed on, evident by my droopy eyes, fatigued muscles, my labored breaths, and my diseased heart. I've allowed myself an open field, committed to this steadfast stance, watching the distant willows dance a waltz to the graces of nature, taking in the fresh breeze and the scent of lilies, closing my eyes to take in the ambiance, laying my head back the way a new baby does when held to his mother's chest, staring into her eyes, protected within her hands, and completely and utterly vulnerable. For real.
Yeah.
It's too long for me to do all of them. It's me for real. This is like a book. You're not going to help me?
I did what you said.
All right. Well, will you guys let me know when I'm coming to the end because I'm doing something last. You can see where I was. This is where I ended up. And I ended up here in the middle of the poem. When I say that I start writing, sometimes you don't know where you're going to go, and that's what that other poem is about. You just start. You don't know where you're going to go. You don't even know where you're at half the time, but you just know that you've got to do it. I pull up at the side of the road when I have to write sometimes. I wake up in the middle of the night and go crawl on the kitchen floor if that's where I can get some quietness and don't wake anybody up, if that's what I have to do to write.